Tell me a little bit about preparing oneself for the screen. We've been in this Zoom environment for a long time, and I know we get a lot of questions at Sage Presence about how do I prepare myself to be confident in front of a screen? What are each of your perspectives on the importance of this?
You're going to have to start with what is the hardest part, and that is weaning yourself from your own need to get positive feedback, which is one of the things to some degree you get from a live audience. And where you're going to have to build your relationship is actually with the lens itself. This was hard for actors. This is one of the best things for us coming from the film world, that we are used to actors being spooked by the camera. And the moment it comes in, you suddenly get this being observed by this emotionless, expressionless device. So you have to learn to love the lens, to look into it, spend a lot of time with the lens. So we're practicing with people, getting them to spend time in the lens and receiving none or certainly less body language feedback. And the fact is, you can get used to it. So that's the starting point, is to learn how to be happy and positive as you're looking into a lens that gives you no feedback, but you know the world's watching you through it.
Let me hop in with a second thing as well. So I was talking earlier about self-consciousness. I think when it comes to this stuff, a huge part of what gets in our way is in the moment just questioning how we're looking, how we're being, how we're landing for people in the moment. So before anything starts, before an interview, before a meeting with somebody, before you do anything, you get yourself in front of the camera, you turn it on, you look at the screen, and you ask yourself a few questions. You ask yourself, so where are my eyes going? Is there anything distracting about my background? Is there anything that I don't like about my background? Is there anything that I would judge or that somebody might judge? And you actually make decisions based on those things that you recognize in that moment. Then, in the process of doing that, you are spending time on the camera. In front of the camera. You are spending time there, which can't help but make you more comfortable. The problem that a lot of people make for themselves is they recognize they don't want to do it, so they avoid getting in front of the camera. And then the big moment happens and it's like, great, now I have to deal with being on camera for the very first time while the pressure is high. You really want to get
this great moment where Pete helped us figure out the emotional activity that would get you to the opposite state of that tizzy state that you tend to put yourself into. And my father was a professor of world religions, and I remember he always talked about how the powerful leaders and influencers of the world came from a state of gratitude. They were grateful, and in the grateful state, you feel great, you feel taken care of. And I get this from the religious standpoint. If you're somebody that feels like, God or the universe is taking care of you. We started trying to get actors to a grateful state. And when they did, they suddenly had power. And what Pete recognized is the activity isn't, the grateful state is the end result. The activity that gets you there is appreciating. So we started working with people to choose to appreciate. What can I appreciate? And we had actors appreciating the lens. And once that happened, suddenly the lens didn't have power over them. They had power through the lens, because what I'm doing is I'm appreciating you over there, and I'm appreciating this moment and my content. And suddenly I landed in the state of gratitude.
Yeah, it's really cool. This state of gratitude or appreciation is like an elevated version of you. There's excitement when you feel something up there. So many of us fight to keep kind of a really even keel. I remember years ago we were working with a younger person who successfully achieved comfort, and he just looked like this is no big deal at all. He was presenting and it's like, yeah, I'm just sharing my thoughts. And he looked like a regular guy. That's good. He looked like somebody who wasn't scared. That's good. And he looked like he didn't give a crap at all. So elevated is way better than neutral, which so many of us fight to try to get to.
Why you have that issue is because professional presence is constantly asking for consistency. Professional business presence is I'm always normal and I'm always focused. And that is a good thing, but it doesn't give you that magic of stage presence or screen presence. So when you add the ingredient of appreciation, that sort of dull tone that you get in permanently being consistent suddenly becomes a more expressive, changing, dynamic presence, because we've got beyond consistency, we have got emotions which have arcs to them. And so as a result, you get more modulation, more expression. But simplified, it's I got to spend the time with the lens and I've got to appreciate through that lens so that I bring vibe, not just image.